What's going on, Mosh Pit Crew? How's it going? Welcome to Geeking Out with the Metal Geek. I'm your host, the Metal Geek. And now, I just want to say, welcome to the Geek Pit. Because let's give a Geeking Out welcome to our guest today. He is the owner of Stay True, Steven Davidson.
Hey, how's it going?
How's it going, dude?
Not too bad.
Yeah. So, welcome. So how did you get your start in the wrestling business, Steven?
I officially in Uprising, which was the training school run by the Kings of the North. They've been OTT Tag Team Champions,
Wow.
TNT, uh, ICW, basically anywhere in Europe that's got a kind of reputation. They've won their tag titles. So started training there. Did all the stupid backyard stuff that you're not supposed to before that.
Uh,
Um, Definitely shouldn't have done it. Still, I think I've had worse injuries from backyard stuff than I ever did actual wrestling. But yeah, pretty much just trained there. They closed up, so then we went to a few different schools for a wee bit here and there. And now I am running my own school and my own promotion, so it feels like it all kind of came out of nowhere and just like it feels like I started training like 5 minutes ago, but then it also feels like I've been doing it for 20 years. It's wrestling's so weird, especially when it comes to
yeah.
time. It just yeah, it just all kind of bundles together.
Yeah, exactly. So how did this whole how did Stay True come together exactly, and what's the story behind Stay True and how the promotion came together?
So whenever all the all kind of brush past it because I think everybody's heard enough of it and don't want to dwell on it. But whenever Speaking Out happened, I was pretty much done. I was seen enough, heard enough, and I just didn't want anything to do with it anymore. But then I've I've loved wrestling for as long as I've had memories. So I was I was sitting and I had my cat and I was like, right, okay. If
Mhm.
I was petting him and he keeps like he does this thing where he like headbutts my hand. So I put two hands up and I was like, if you headbutt this hand, I'm done. If you headbutt this hand, I'll start something of my own. And I purposely put the one that would be me finish with wrestling closer to him because I was kind of like, yeah, I'm done. I won out of this. And he just swerved the whole way around. Headbutted this one. I was like, right, well, guess I'm starting something of my own. So that was basically it. Just there was enough drama and horrible stuff going around, and I just thought, sorry, pardon me. I thought I would just
It's
start
okay.
something of my own. It's the best thing. Like if you just get away from everybody else's dramas and feuds and any weird hatred people have for each other because you trained with this guy and you didn't train with me and all that stuff. So I just thought, right, cool, start something on my own. Make sure everybody's safe. Make sure everybody gets paid. Make sure everybody has fun, and that's it.
Yeah. So what made you change your mind to just say I'm going to be done with this, and then just say, you know what, we're going to start this? You know.
Because I knew that I don't know. I didn't think that I could half leave. I didn't think I'd be able to like take a break or oh I'll step away a wee like a small amount, but I'll still watch or I'll still do this because I knew that either I was just from seeing like how many people, even relatively close to where we train and people that like I've met and some of the stuff they did, I knew it was either going to take a huge amount of effort because I was either going to have to cut it out entirely because I wasn't going to be able to watch WWE or anything anymore because I still don't watch WWE really since all that because there's that many people that I don't think should be there. Or I was going to have to put in a lot of effort to make something from scratch, and that was it was I knew it was one or the other. So yeah, it was basically I didn't have a coin, so I let my cat decide.
Yeah. So yeah, during the pandemic though, I've discovered so much indie wrestling. It's like unbelievable how much different companies are out there. Because
Yeah.
especially in the UK, between the UK and Ireland, it's like there's just endless amount of different companies, and it's like I never knew. You know.
Yeah, I think we have four in the north of Ireland or Northern Ireland. That's a whole thing. And like we're such a small, tiny part of an island. Like we're a small country on a small island, and we've got four that I think are from here, and then I think there's maybe two or three different ones, different promotions will come and tour here as well. So anytime you could have 6 or 7 different promotion shows just in the north, and that's for the amount of land size we have. That's crazy.
Yeah, it is. It is crazy because I mean, so who is some of your favorite wrestlers you'd say growing up?
Growing up, it would have been definitely Undertaker, Sting. Was really into the theatrics and stuff. Uh, Jericho, but then more modern, I would say probably like Samoa Joe, Eddie Kingston. I love Eddie Kingston so much.
I
Um,
think Eddie
I don't know. It's
Kingston's
just
from where we
I'm
are,
a
so
weird mix. It's the huge. Oh, awesome!
yeah,
It's I either like the real huge characters that are like basically comic book characters, or the really real gritty guys who like try to make it as real as possible. Everything in between is just I like just all that, but it's just I seem to like the complete polar opposites of each other the most.
yeah. I don't know if you noticed this, but also like the comic book characters are starting to make a comeback. Like they're starting
Oh
to
yeah,
get those. They're starting to get those top spots. Like look at someone like Orange Cassidy, for example.
yep,
He's a champion right now. Like
yeah.
5 years ago, you would never think that.
No, it's wrestling goes in cycles for
Yeah,
sure. I mean, everything was so PG and so clean and so couldn't do this, couldn't do that, couldn't do anything, and then now AEW is you know Mox is bleeding every 5 minutes, and people are loving it again. And but I think it's good because if you keep like with the Attitude Era, like I know some people, especially like my age, if they grew up with Undertaker being the spooky goth guy, and then all of a sudden he's a big country biker, they hated it. But what else did he have to do? Like, how much more gothic and scary can he get before he just pulls off his skin and becomes the devil? You know what I mean? Like, you have to stop, take a break, go back a bit because it's the same with Foley. Like, he got thrown off the Hell in a Cell. Then people started doing death matches and doing light tubes and then putting like syringes through their faces and stuff. And it's like, what's next? You have
it's
to stop and go back for a while so that you can kind of all of a sudden a chair shot is shocking again. So,
uh
but it's still
exactly.
like,
It's actually it's also tell the story, but also a
yeah,
lot of people have telling me that it's like there's I guess they say different strokes for different folks. You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
some people prefer the death matches, and then other people just love that straight old school wrestling style. I'm someone
yeah,
who loves the old school wrestling style, and like like the Ric Flairs of the world. You know what I mean? The
yeah.
Ricky Steamboats and stuff like that. You know?
But even them, for example, like how many times could you watch a match that's like an hour long where they only did chain wrestling for 40 minutes and then the big finish was a scoop slam off the top rope? Like it takes I like there's people like Will Ospreay and Ricochet and stuff like that. That's not the kind of wrestling I really like too much. But if it wasn't for them and things like that and everybody getting more and more high flying and technical and impressive and acrobatic, then somebody like Walter, who is if he was along with Ric Flair and stuff, he would fit right in because
With the
he's more
chops,
basic kind of yeah, and
the
he's just
chop.
like a real basic guy. Like he knows what he does it really well, and he can tell a story in a match that takes 40 minutes by using like 5 moves. But if you didn't have the likes of Ricochet and Ali and Osprey or anybody else like that, then he wouldn't stand out.
I,
So
I
like wrestling's a variety show. You have to sometimes you have to watch the stuff you don't like to make you appreciate the bits you do.
exactly. And speaking of that, I actually now you got me in the mood just to see a Ric Flair versus Walter match for some reason, man. I mean, not Ric Flair now, obviously. Ric Flair in his I mean, Ric
I
Flair in
mean,
it
Walter would kill
now
him.
could. I mean, Ric Flair fought the Big Show. I mean, you know what I mean, and bled buckets in
Have you
ECW.
ever seen the photo of Ric Flair when he was like before he became the Nature Boy, where he's like huge, like he's really thick?
No, I haven't seen this photo, man. I gotta
Oh,
look this
it's
up.
he's like it's like a real old. I wonder if I could find it and even send you on Facebook or something. But like, he's thick. Like, it's so weird seeing him like that. It's because everybody's used to like the bleach blonde hair, and he's like, well, like he's a big enough guy, but he's like this. He's like a chunky dude. It's great. I
Yeah.
would love to have seen that Ric Flair against. I think I've got it. I'll send you it here.
Can you
He's
set?
closer in size.
You could screen share it too if you want to.
I'm doing it on my computer instead
Yeah.
because my phone will not let me do both.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you know what, if you just look up Ric Flair thick, that's what I got.
Said he looks like a
That's what
dynamite. Looks like a dynamite kid when he was biggest on roids.
You know what? Yeah, that's pretty true actually. But yeah, he's just a. It's so funny, just
Yeah.
especially considering like what everybody's used to. Because I think that's the only way Ric Flair would stand a chance against Walters if he looked like this. And I'll send it to you now. But yeah,
I gotta see this, man. I mean, I wish I could put this up on the screen, but you know.
yeah. If anybody's watching, just look up Ric Flair thick on Google, and there's like
No way.
six of the
No,
first images.
no, no way, man. No way. I want to. Let's see if I can share this. If I could share this, man, on screen right now.
It's great because you look that up, and then the first video underneath is him talking about the fat lady in the front row. He wasn't exactly skinny himself here.
I might be able to screen share this. Hold on. But yeah, if you want to talk a little bit more about Stay True and the promotion, while I cue this up, you know.
Sure. So what to say? We've got two champions now. We did a no rope tournament on our last show.
Mhm.
Because every time I've been at a show, there's always some kind of problem with the ring going up. Never goes up smoothly, and every single time I always try and suggest that we just do a blood sport show. It's like, it doesn't matter, you don't need the ring, just do blood sport. Because if the ropes don't go on, we'll just do blood sport. So I finally got to do one myself, which was great. And then
There's the Ric Flair right there. There he is, man.
yeah, thick Flair.
thick Flair. that needs to be a shirt somewhere. Thick Flair, man. Right?
You know what? I might actually, yeah.
I'm creating merches right there, man. You know?
Yeah. I'm sure I won't get sued or anything. That's fine. Although I think this is before WWE, so they might not have any. I might be safe. We'll see.
Man, that picture right there.
Yeah.
It looks like Dynamite Kid.
Yeah. It's another guy.
He's telling you to check out Muda versus Hogan in Japan.
Oh yeah, no, I'm a huge Muda fan, so I've seen that loads. That's the one match that everybody uses as an excuse to say that Hogan could wrestle because he did one in Saguri. It's like, that's it. In Saguri. Hogan could wrestle. He did an armbar.
He did an arm drag too. There you go.
That's 3 more moves than any of his other matches.
Oh my god! Everyone, it's like now they're forcing you to wear it, man. They said you should wear a thick Flair shirt now. It fits, man. There you go. Everyone's asking for it.
Fair enough. Well, we'll see. Everybody can buy them, and then if I have enough people wanting to buy them, then I'll make them. Go get pre-sales in.
Pre-sale. So, what was this decision they made to make Hayden the first champion? So,
she's great.
I know.
Is the short answer, but no. So there was one other plan for somebody else.
Because she's amazing.
About it.
She's amazing. So.
Yes, but then I don't know. It was kind of just because I think because she was right in front of me that I almost kind of looked past her, and then just training and stuff. It was just kind of started thinking over she is so good at this. One of the last shows she was actually injured too, and I said to her, I was like, I'm so glad you're injured, because in the stable we have Deacon Quinn as well, who's 10 times better than you, and he's 10 times better than you. And I was like, I'm so glad you're injured because in the stable we have Deacon Quinn as well, who's 10 times better than you, and he's 10 times better than you. And I was like, I'm so glad you're injured because in the stable we have whose t-shirt I'm wearing. You should go get it on TeePublic. Um, but like he's so good at promos that why would anybody else really need to speak? But the
Mhm.
show, and Hayden was injured, so she did a promo, and it was so good, and I'm so glad she did because like she's done promos like pre-tapes and stuff before,
Mhm.
and like she can do that. That's fine. But I think this was her first promo in front of a crowd, and just like she looked like she was so comfortable, and just looked so easy for her. And like wrestling, she does stuff that like I know nobody's taught her.
Mhm.
Like she just knows. She's one of those ones that just like she just gets it, and she's so good. Because I'd seen her like obviously for anybody who doesn't know, she's my sister.
Mhm.
Um, but like I remember whenever she didn't even like wrestling, and to see her now, like I've said to basically anybody, I think the two best in the country at the minute are her and Enda Cassidy
Mhm.
because they're both so good in the ring, so good at promos. There's like nothing you can poke a hole in. They're both just so good.
You know, it'd be an awesome match for that title. You see,
Yeah.
Lunatrix versus Hayden Morgan would be awesome.
We have a pretty cool one come. Hmm, I don't think I can say yet, but who it's gonna be. But like we have a pretty cool match. I don't think anybody will expect coming up. But
Yeah.
Lunatrix is cool. I've seen some of
Lu-
her stuff. Yeah, she's CXW, right?
At the CXW, she's Savage, CPW. She's all over the UK right now, so
Yeah. No,
all
she's.
over.
I definitely. I recognize her for sure. Um, but yeah, never know.
Never
Trying to
know.
branch out and bring in different people. So
Yeah.
never say never.
Never say never. I really enjoyed that. Like the first, what that was the first show, right? That you guys did, or Stay True.
Yeah, yeah. When Hayden became the champion, so we did like a cinematic one during the pandemic. It was like a two
Mhm.
show or a two match show.
Mhm.
Uh, and so I, I kind of don't count it really because there's no fans. But issue one, when Hayden won the title, that was our first show in front of a crowd.
Mhm.
So the first real show, really.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, so she won a Rumble match and then went on and won the main event as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
She's
That
so good.
exactly. That's so good. You know. Are there any dream places you would love to travel to, or eh,
For wrestling or just in
for
general?
general in general? Yeah.
In general, Seoul or Tokyo,
Mhm.
just because if I'm going to go somewhere different, make it as different as possible. Um, I would like to go to Spain at some point, just purely just because I know some Spanish. So
Mhm.
just to see how bad it really is. Uh, like I might think I'm okay at it over here, but as soon as I go over there and there's a bunch of native speaking people, I'll just useless. I'll be back to Google.
What are some of your favorite finishing moves?
Um, I used to like all the crazy complicated ones, like all the big, F5 into a spinning this and blah 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 blah, and all the ones whenever in the 2K games where you would just like add 13 moves together and just say this is a finisher. But I'm starting to really like just suplexes. Like I think it's cool that like Pac, I think he was using like a superplex as a finisher. Karrion Cross is using a Cyto suplex as a finisher. Like I think, especially like I haven't been in the ring, suplexes suck to take. So you know, um, I mean I can't say too much. I use German suplexes quite a bit, but if you're going to be taking a whole lot of suplexes, like sometimes I think just take one and make it the finish. Like I don't think anybody's going to complain about taking a superplex off the top rope and then being pinned by it. It's like, yeah, no, I don't really want to do that three more times. Just pin me now, please.
It's exactly.
But yeah, I think I'm getting old. I'm just starting to be like, these kids need to slow down, do less moves.
Yeah.
But I also like how much MMA stuff's coming into wrestling now. So I like seeing like cool new chokes and like arm bars and stuff like that. Like I think whenever they're done well, they're so good. But whenever it's just people doing it because they seen one UFC highlight reel and they're like, "Oh, I can do that,"
And then you get your
And
ass
so
kicked.
yeah, sometimes you can tell like you can tell whenever like a wrestler is also trained in MMA as well, I think. And whenever they have like and stuff like that is it's cool. I like
Like
seeing
bro,
outside stuff being brought in,
Mhm.
not just
But-
moves, but just in general.
mhm. Like someone like Brock, for example, who's trained in mixed
Yeah,
martial arts, or Bobby Lashley,
yeah.
or something like that.
Or even Marina Shafir.
But yeah, Maria Shafir, yeah,
Yeah,
she
so like
knows.
she's good and like she's on AEW Dark and stuff, but then she did a Bloodsport match with Killer Kelly.
Hmm.
Um, she's like a whole new person because she's doing stuff that like she's more comfortable with, and it's so cool. Like watching her in Bloodsport, it's like she's been wrestling for an extra 10 years, just because she's doing the movements that she knows, but it works in wrestling. Whereas I think in AEW she's trying to do more pro wrestling style, and I'm just like, oh, just do the Bloodsport stuff and on AEW because
That would get over. That would get her over.
yeah, like because I think everybody who's on a professional wrestling show is a professional wrestler. Not everybody's going to be, a judo black belt or jiu-jitsu or karate or taekwondo or whatever or samba or like use the stuff that makes you different. I think it would, but I mean that's just my preference. I mean, I don't know. I don't run AEW, so obviously they know what they're talking about more than me.
Exactly. So, and I think they're doing a pretty good job at it right now.
Yeah, I mean, I watch it more than WWE, and I watch WWE like my whole life. So
Basically, me too, man. I grew up on that stuff. That like the Attitude Era, all that stuff. I grew up on
yeah,
it. Yeah, no.
I don't know, just WWE, just I'd say maybe like last 5 to 10 years. Just
But
I stopped
Wrestle,
watching for a while, and then I got back into it, and now I'm done again.
but WrestleMania was so good.
Yeah,
You can't
I
complain because WrestleMania was just so good. I mean, you had a stat card and you had amazing matches. So I mean, you can't really.
I think I think it probably if it was one night and you took like half of the matches out, because I skimmed through night one and I think I watched 2 matches on the whole show. I only cared about 2 matches, and then night two I liked way more. So like I don't know, I wasn't really excited for this year. I don't know why. I just I think because like the whole bloodline story, I think it was the coolest thing they've done in a long time. And to me, like the peak of that was at Elimination Chamber,
Mhm.
and that show was okay. It was basically a 1 match show for me. And then like we did Sammy and Roman, and now I don't care.
Exactly.
Like Roman versus Cody, yeah, cool. Like I checked it out. It was a good match. But now like Riddle is just randomly in the storyline now too. It feels a bit like NWO. Like it's just like,
Yeah.
this is going really well. How many other people can we throw into it? And we'll put Ali in it, and we'll put Omos in it, and yeah, I don't know. Dana
Yeah.
Brooke, are you doing anything? Do you want in this storyline now? Sure.
There was actually a poster of somebody fan made Omos versus Roman Reigns for next year.
No way. No,
Whoa.
I think a year's probably way too soon. I don't think I don't think Omos is taking the title at any time. Not within a
No,
year
man.
anyway.
No, man.
I'm trying to be nice about it, but no.
No, because Vince is back in the picture, so he's probably thinking.
It's that that company is insane. Like Vince is a psychopath. Why is he? I, I don't know how he's went this long without being put in jail. Like dude is a psycho.
He's legit,
Yeah.
We get comments that he's too green, and they're starting to laugh.
Oh
He's,
yeah. I read that and I was like, who? Vince?
yeah,
Oh yeah. No, Omos is definitely too green. Yeah. Which
say
isn't a
hey,
bad thing.
no, but
Also, I
yeah,
saw Johnny said AW sucks. How dare he?
Man, what has been your favorite match this year? So not this year, but like right now of all time, as of right now.
Um, Probably Edge and Mick Foley against Tommy Dreamer and Terry Funk at One Night Stand.
And New York
Like,
right there.
yeah, like I've just, like, I think I've asked this one other time, and like I watched that, like, you know, the way people have, like, you know, Disney movies or whatever, it's sort of like their little comfort watch if they're feeling a bit iffy or feeling not great, and they'll just still watch something really nice and chill, and it'll cheer them up. That's what I watch. Like, I watched that match with Terry Funk's eye hanging out and all that. Like, I'm like, cool. I'll just chill out and watch Terry Funk cry in front of a camera for Mick Foley to stop pulling his face off. Like, it's cool. That's it. That's
Yeah,
just me chill out. I love that match so much.
I mentioned this before. My favorite match is always going to be the 7-star match right there. Okada versus
The
Okada Mega.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, you can't really fault those matches. Like, they're what? I, yeah, I don't know what. I hate the whole star thing. I hate it so much. But
But I agreed with it even before Meltzer even rated it.
oh yeah, that you were just like, this is the best match I've ever seen.
Yes, yeah.
I have an
I was gonna
unpopular
go. I was
opinion.
gonna go 10. I was gonna go 10 stars on that match, but he rated it.
You're just like,
He,
nah, never being
he
topped.
is not. This match is not being top, but he decided he's gonna rate it 7. I'm like, okay, that's it.
I
7.
can't remember which one it is, but there's I think it might have been for the US title, but Jay White versus Omega.
That was good too.
I think it's the one with the really famous "fuck you, Jay" before the
Yeah,
V trigger.
yeah.
Like, I think that is so, like, that match. I put that higher than, I would say, maybe 2 out of 3 of the Okada Omega matches. I don't know why, but that match, the whole time I was just like, this is amazing. And like,
No,
it's anytime I bring it up, people are just kind of like, I think I remember it, and I'm just like, what? It was so good.
yeah, and both men have improved since then. So now we're probably gonna get that in
Yeah,
AEW, which is gonna be even more
I
amazing.
didn't even think about that. Like, that didn't even. I knew that Jay White was in AEW, but it didn't even click in my head that, like, we might get a rematch between them two. Yeah, that would be great.
It
Not
never
even might.
happened.
Like, that almost definitely is what's going to happen if it's doing
That
Bullet Club and Elite stuff. Like, it's almost definitely what they're building to, and
yeah.
that didn't click with me at all.
Tony's got plans, man. Tony's got plans. All right.
Yeah.
So to get back on topic with Stay True, how
Yep.
did the name how did you come up with the name and how that
Sorry, I think my internet maybe cut out there. What was the question? Sorry.
so how did you come up with, like the name Stay True?
Um, it's kind of like a straight edge thing.
It's because it's different
Like,
than every other wrestling promotion. So every wrestling promotion
yeah,
has pro wrestling this or
yeah, like
pro wrestling.
Belfast Pro Wrestling, Irish Pro Wrestling, whatever. Yeah, no, I knew I was going to, I didn't even want to call it Stay True Wrestling to begin with. It was just going to be just Stay True. But for
Yeah,
posters, it says Stay True, and then underneath it says Wrestling, just so people know what they're looking at.
yeah,
Um, but yeah, it was kind of just a straight edge thing that I just had heard people say it, and I'd seen it on stuff before. I liked the idea of the message behind it, and I just thought that was good, especially if I was like starting a new thing, like the whole, like, I had a goal for like what the company was going to kind of be, and I was like, so I'll just like stay true to this idea that it's going to be everybody gets paid, everybody's safe, anybody who has anything, you know, anybody has any concerns, if like everybody knows who's going to be at the show before they go to it. There's not going to be any surprises where it's going to be a thing where it's like, oh, I don't want to work with them because of X, Y, Z. I was just like, I'll stay true to that idea, and then just the name just kind of, it's like, yeah, just call it Stay True.
exactly. Hmm. So what's your goals for Stay True? You'd say.
Um, I slow and steady really is just the kind of idea. Like, we've starting to try and, move, we kind of run the same town, so I'm trying to like look into other places to run, which, if they work, cool. If they don't, I don't worry about it. I'm doing it in a way that, like, I think we've built up a pretty good fan base in Ballymoney, which is where we done most of our shows. So like we'll stay there. Like that'll pretty much be like our base. And then if we can branch out in other places, cool. If we can't, cool. Like I'm pretty chill that way. But I also have stupid goals. Like have ones that like I know that I won't reach. Like
Mhm.
certain
Never say
venues and
never.
stuff.
Never say
But
never,
that's the
man.
idea. It's like if I go, oh, I want to be able to run 3 shows, which last year my goal was I wanted to do 3 shows in a year, and we've already done that. We're way past that. Um, but like, so I have like smaller goals, but then I have like these big crazy ones that like would never make sense. But then at least if I aim for them and I come short of them, it's better than I want to run 3 shows. Oh, I didn't do it. I ran 2. Whereas if it's like, I want to fill out this crazy venue that I'm never going to fill out. Yeah, we didn't get there, but we might have got to a venue twice the size of where we started. That's still pretty cool. And even if we didn't, like, this is the thing. I was this close to leaving wrestling altogether. So, like, everything we do is all a bonus. Like, I'm pretty happy with anything at the minute. Like, but I'm not being complacent about it, but I'm also very like, if it ends tomorrow, I can appreciate what we've got so far, but I still want to keep moving. Like, I've got storyline ideas for like a year and a half out from now, so
I like
I
that.
got to keep. I got shows to. I need to do shows just so I can finish these stories.
If you could have a major wrestler, dead or alive, who would want in your corner, or your promotion,
Um,
or your promotion? You could say.
hmm, I mean, Paul Heyman's great. Like he's the obvious answer.
Mhm.
Um, maybe Bobby Heenan, just because I would like to hear what Bobby Heenan has to say about wrestling today.
Mhm.
Like for no other reason other than that. I would just like to hear him freaking out about Cody. Like maybe
Yeah.
Cody's his new Hogan that he just hates for no reason, and then turns out to be right after years of hating him.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
probably him.
probably Paul Heyman, right?
Or Bobby Heenan. Yeah.
Bobby Heenan. All right. So all right. So where do you see Stay True in 5 to 10 years? And it could be dream stuff too.
Years. I'll be like 40 then. Jesus. Um, hopefully we'll have had a cage match by then if we're going that long. Like, I mean, 5 to 10 years. That's plenty of time to get a cage made. So yeah, cage match.
Yeah.
Um,
Better go
I
to Home
don't
Depot.
know.
Home Depot.
um, I I don't know. It's very weird because because this country is so small, there's only so many places you can go. So like it's either you try and get too big and then you go somewhere else and then you're stepping on other
Gotcha.
people's toes. Like
Gotcha. Yeah, I
yeah, like
understand.
I don't know. I mean, if we just keep slowly building and doing our own thing and just I would be happy doing 5, 10 years. It's still what we're doing, just a bit bigger, really. Like I think
Oh,
everybody that comes to the shows has fun and
she'll be
as
16
long as
time champ.
16-time champ. Well, that means she's going to lose it 16 times. So I
Great.
mean, here I'll get my book and my paper if that's what she really wants. Because I think Ric Flair's like a 21-time champion. Yeah, he lost the belt 21 times. He sucks. He can't
but
retain to save his life.
but that's kind of like the thing with Charlotte Flair right now. She's what at 14 now, or and that
I
means she lost the belt at 14 times now. So
If you put
it
a
was
gun
they
to
were
my head, I could not tell you how many times she's won a title. I couldn't tell you who she beat for half of them. I have no idea. It's so many in such a short space of time.
our it's the champ right there. Which is in the chat.
Well, apparently the champ wants to lose the belt, so okay.
Yeah.
I'll make a
I
note.
say I say she's getting a Roman Reigns type title reign. There you go.
Oh, 3 years?
Yeah, she needs to get that Roman Reigns type belt, man. You need to make
Hmm.
those belt. What I like about a story is you need to make belts mean something, and for that person to beat that person is worthy then, and that's how you
Yeah,
build stars. Yeah,
Yeah, like that's why we do the whole like the win loss record thing, because I think it, for anybody who does, like, I try to make it so that, if you don't watch every show and you don't watch all the stuff on YouTube and you don't watch all the like the wee backstage bits, you can still just enjoy the show. But if you do watch all that, then you get a wee bit more from it. So like wins, loss records and stuff, I'll post them every now and again, which I need to actually post again because it's been a while. But I try to make it so that, nobody who's only got like 2 wins and like 7 losses is going to be your next contender unless there's a feud or a reason for it, or like the champ calls them out specifically.
Mhm.
Like you have to earn your title shot, so that you know that if you're seeing somebody in a title match, that like there's a reason for it. It's not just who's free this time.
Uh-huh. Exactly.
So,
Yeah.
and
Because
then if the champ has to have a non-title match, then so be it.
yeah, I got like the stories that you guys are trying to build with Stay True. It's like you guys like okay, you're in a tag match now, and then you win that tag match, you get added to the last was it the last chance match?
Yeah, yeah,
Every match is connected to each other, and
yeah,
each match means something. So you have to watch everything kind of like a series. I kind of like the idea because you guys are so different than what a lot of other promotions are doing. It's like other promotions are just gonna say, okay, here's this match and here's this match, and that's it. You guys have like a story and like a long term story that you're trying to build.
yeah. And thanks for saying that. That's very nice. But like I try. It's also because like I try to do it so that if you've come to shows before, especially now that we've done a few shows, which will all be going up on YouTube as well eventually. But if you've never seen a show before, then you're still getting like a story that day. So even like Halloween in October, there was the OCC champion from was the Wrestling Ireland, but then that company closed down, but the title was still active. He wasn't able to make it. They had a match for, like the night before our show to crown a new champion, and there's a whole thing where it was like because the people who were supposed to fight the champ weren't able to, they had like qualifying matches, and the winners would have got a future title shot at another show. But then the bad guy general manager Deacon Quinn, terrible person, great t-shirt. Um, he forced them to defend the title that night. So like you're still getting a story there. If you've seen this show before, then you'll be like, oh, I know why he did this, and that's a bad guy, so he's going to make the good guy do this. But if not, you can still just tell from being there that day. So it's like Survivor Series 90. Is it? I can't remember what year, but Deadly Games, like the one where the whole show was like one story, just start to end, that whole show. I try to, I really like that. So some of my ideas are a bit like that, where it's like, if you only see one show, you get a full story. That's it. If you see all the
Yeah.
shows, then you get all the stories.
Yeah. I I kind of also like the idea how you guys are having an open weight champion instead of just saying I'm going to have a men's championship and a women's championship cuz
Yeah.
now the women can learn from the men and the and vice versa so they can learn from each other. You know what I mean? And I kind of
Yeah.
like that idea that you guys are presenting cuz if you have everyone in the same system, nobody's learning anything.
Yeah. Plus, it's something different too, and it's, I know a lot of people. Well, not a lot, but like some people will get, they're like, oh, I don't like seeing men fighting women, and oh, I don't think it's very believable, and blah blah blah. But like, we're not the WWE. Like, other than Killdozer, we don't really have any Brock Lesnar's. You know what I mean? So it's not like, and even if we did, Rey Mysterio has fought Brock Lesnar. Rey Mysterio has fought Big Show, and he's beaten them. Like,
Yeah.
or some of them. You know what I mean? Like, Rey Mysterio's beat Khali. Like, it's not whether it's believable or not. It's whether you can make it believable. If it's not believable, then it's not because of the gender thing. It's because maybe those
Yeah.
people just weren't given a good enough story. And also, who do you think the women train with?
Men.
Like a lot of schools, exactly. Like a lot of the schools, there's one woman if you're lucky. So like they're training with like 17 other dudes. So by the time they get into a ring in front of a crowd, like they've had plenty of matches before. So I don't know. It's,
Yeah.
I don't see the
But
point in splitting it.
I just love the idea too, and it opens the door for so many different matches that you guys could have too.
Yeah. Plus, like, what happens if we, if people are like, oh well, what if Hayden went against Killdozer? That's too big of a size difference. Yeah. What if she does? Like, okay, that is a big size difference. Do you not kind of want to see it though? Like,
I kind of want to see it now that you're presenting it. You know what I
do you
mean?
know what I mean?
If Hayden's
Like,
still in the chat, man, you might want to go up against Killdozers. So you know,
well, I mean, if you want to win the title more than once, you got to lose it, and I don't know. But like, and the same thing, like also
she's
like,
telling you, she's saying bring it. She's telling you to bring
I think Killdozer just sent me a message. Actually, I'll see what he has to say about that.
it.
But yeah, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like even like Pyro and Jordan Sweet, who's also the
Oh
Chaos
man,
champion. Like those guys are like, they're not, they're about the same size as Hayden. I'm like, it's stuff like that where it's like, if Pyro goes against Killdozer, which he has done, it's like, oh, this will be interesting. But some people will be like, oh, if Hayden goes against Killdozer, it's like, oh no, not believable. I was like, okay, but Hayden and Pyro are the same size. Hayden also has 3 other people in her corner. Hayden's also strong as fuck, like
yeah.
real strong. Like Hayden, like I've seen her in the gym, like she's real strong. But like I don't know, just I
I'm
think it's interesting. So why would you not want to see it? And if you don't think it's believable, then why don't you check it out and prove yourself right or wrong? Like, yeah,
I would now that you think about it, I kind of want to see that, and I want to see Hayden versus Pyro. I think Pyro, somebody, those chops are brutal, dude. You know
Hayden and
that.
Pyro actually had a match at the last show,
Uh-huh.
so that'll be on YouTube eventually. Actually, yeah. So you'll be able
Yeah,
to see that.
yeah,
And yeah, he threw some chops in. So
yeah. I mean, yeah. Pyro's those chops are like those hard hitting, man. And that's something I like about wrestling is like I'm always been a fan of the New Japan strong style, and
yeah,
so
and I think Pyro and Jordan Sweet, especially considering they're like 2 of the smaller guys, they they hit harder than a lot of the guys twice their size. Like they don't shy away from strong style. Like they'll go for it.
mhm. People are saying take my money right now for
Well,
for uh, for
Killdozer and
for
Hayden.
for Kildos and Hayden, yeah, for the title.
Killdozer has his own belt though, and I'm a little bit. I don't know. See, because that's not our title, so I'm glad he's got that one. Like it's
Yeah.
just like a rogue title that's not tied to any one promotion, so it can be defended anywhere now. But like, we'll see how he behaves with that title, and if he can go without breaking that one, then who knows. Although Hayden
Mhm.
might have something to say about that.
Yeah,
You can
just
take that up with her.
she might be still in the she might be still in the chat though. So there you go.
But I mean, yeah, like you never know. He
Uh,
Killdozer's got a pretty good win-loss record.
oh, Jordan says belt for belt right there. He
Well,
wants
Jordan's
belt.
also a champion, so throw him in, belt for belt for belt.
There you go.
No, because then if Killdozer wins, then he's going to break them all. If Hayden, if Jordan wins, then I think Ballamani would just implode and never be the same again because that's his hometown. Like, and then if Hayden wins, she'll just hide behind heel and well, no, I was going to say she'd never defend them, but I don't want to have to hear her if she has 3 belts. That's it. I just don't want to have to listen to that. Nobody wants to listen to that.
Big Sid was one of your favorites growing up.
Oh yeah, Sid Vicious. Yeah, Sid Vicious is great.
Yeah. What was your reaction when you saw the spot? Were you heartbroken?
I yeah, I think it was one of those like I don't know. I kind of was like, yeah, he's done forever. But I was kind of like
Yeah.
not really watching WCW at that time anyway because it was just we didn't really get it where I'm from, like on any channels and like the internet. Fucking hell, I'm old. The internet wasn't really a thing back then, so I couldn't just go on like watch wrestling and then check out the latest episode of WCW. So it was like it was one of those things that like everybody talked about it in school first. So then you heard from one person like, oh, his leg like split in half, and you could see the bone, and like his leg fell off. So by the time I actually watched it, people had like exaggerated it and made it sound that much worse that by the time I got around to seeing it, I was like, oh, that's pretty bad, but it's
Not
he
what I
still has a
expected.
leg.
Yeah.
But I think I'm more sad about it the longer, like the further away from it got, just because I was like, he's never gonna get a cool Rumble return. He's never gonna have like one more run. And then whenever he came back and did the Raw 1000 thing, I was just like, yeah, this is cool. But then I was
Yeah.
always waiting for like just one more Rumble or something. I just thought he would be a really good surprise entrant. Didn't think he would win it or anything, but just like Diesel got one, I got loads, Booker got loads. I was like, yeah, I think Sid would have been a really good one.
Yeah. Yeah. So, do you have any social medias or?
Yes, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram are all Stay True NI, which I think is that thing there.
That thing right there, stay true right there.
Yeah, and then also that. But yeah,
What?
everything's on
Wait,
Stay True
wait,
NI.
wait. It's I could get.
There we go. I know I had to go the wrong way,
It's the opposite way. There you go.
but yeah. Yeah, that's it. That's all of them. It's the same
Yeah,
on everything really.
that and Henry Larson's are two of the worst leg breaks.
Yeah, no, that was gross.
Yeah, yeah. And do you have any upcoming shows for Stay True or anything you could say or?
Yes. So our next show is on the 11th of June, issue 2, almost a year later. Um, so we'll be doing the Gauntlet for the Gold Rumble again. I think I'm just going to make that like an annual thing on the issue 2, 3, 4 shows. And then we have some pretty cool matches, which I'll start announcing soon. We have obviously Hayden's going to be there, Jordan Sweet's going to be there, Kildo's going to be there. So we've got all 3 champs.
Issue 2 Electric Boogaloo. Is that the name? Or I guess that's the name.
No, that's just Jordan making terrible jokes to upset me. So spoilers, guess who's losing the title then? No, yeah, so it'll be cool to see. And then also Izzy Goldenrod is our new general manager. So this will be his first issue, whatever, in charge. So also it'll be his first time back in Ballymoney since he's really started going after Jordan Sweet. So it'll be interesting to see what the crowd think about that. Or
I
what
kind of
Izzy has planned.
Yeah, I also kind of like how you guys don't call them episodes; they're kind of like issues or
Yeah.
seasons. Seasons.
Yeah, it was just like I don't know. I just wanted because I was thinking like this is gonna be the first, so like if we make it to a year, I'm gonna do like a Slammiversary or something like that. And I was like, yeah, like I like comic books, so I just went issue 1. So like every year, the start of each like it's not to say it's our WrestleMania, but in the sense that WrestleMania is kind of like the last episode, and Raw after Mania is like the first episode of the new season. Obviously, we don't have weekly shows, so like issue whatever, like that's the start of the new year. So issue 1's basically year 1, and then so issue 2 is basically the start of year 2. So yeah, I decided to be something different.
Yeah. Any plans to do a live show or you don't know? That's up in the air right now.
What do you mean by a live show?
Like a
Like
2 hour,
stream it?
like a stream, like a live 2 hour show or something like that. That's up in the air.
I don't know. It's not really
Like a
something I've looked into streaming. Like we record them all like and then live, and then like I'll edit them and put them up in episodes. But I mean, I don't know if streaming would really be. I don't know if we're big enough for streaming yet, to be honest. I don't know whether it'd be something that by the time we put the effort and the money into it, it would be better spent on just booking more guys. So, but like it would be something to build up to, especially as we get more and more shows and like more of a back catalog for people to watch and stuff. It could be something to build up to.
Mhm.
That's maybe one for 5 to 10 years, like you're
Yeah, yeah,
stripping everything.
that's a goal right there. There you
Yeah,
go. All right. But Jordan, I mean, thank you so much for coming on the podcast, Stephen. By the way,
no problem. Thank you for having me.
no problem. So, um, I guess I just want to thank you so much for coming on the podcast. I'm the Metal Geek,
And I'm Stephen from Stage Root.
and we'll catch you guys in the next one.